Welcome everybody to Meet the Polymaker. I am your host, Joel. That's me, this guy, the face you're looking at, the voice you're hearing. And we're here to talk 3D printing news, share some community prints, and ultimately talk to a new maker to see how did they get into this crazy little rabbit hole of a hobby, passion, obsession, career. Who knows where the path may take you when you start 3D printing. I never knew it would take me here, but here we are today. 75 episodes in, and if you're paying attention, for those that are savvy and observant, the YouTube thumbnail has been updated. It actually just got updated as I clicked. So I may have forgot to change the name on the thumbnail. I had everything else changed, also the episode number. But episode number 75, by the way, 75 consecutive weeks, never missing a show. While yes, some are pre-recorded, it's still a show. No week has went without a Meet the Polymaker for 75 weeks. And that wouldn't be possible if you guys didn't come here and watch, support in any way, shape, or form. Whether you make a couple shows, one show here and there, you made all the shows, you've supported in some way, and I appreciate that. I really do. It's been fun. I have a lot more planned for it, but we're here now, and we are running a giveaway, and that is open. Make sure I was updating the studio, so I had to move my window around, so bear with me just a moment. That is open for Twitch, and it is open for YouTube. As you might seen, if you again observant, you've seen the scheduled post go up about an hour ago, maybe earlier than that, but still it should be live. It is recording everything. I updated, which now I want to verify real quick that I have the correct name to the individual we are interviewing today. And there we go. Okay, we're good. Everything is now fixed, working as it's supposed to, and I am a pro streamer. Not. But with that all said, welcome in to the show. Let's get into the hot end headlines. Almost gave myself a tongue twister there. I don't know how did it head to that. You guys know what it is. It's news. Right now we're talking about water soluble recyclable PCBs. So they are printed in PVA plastic with liquid metal. They call it E-gain liquid metal. So what can happen is once these are done, the entire circuit board dissolves in water, separating everything to allow easier reclaiming of parts and materials. The drawback, you have it on your cell phone, you drop it in the water. You don't have to worry about that little sticker that tells the service center that you dropped it in water. It's just going to melt. So it's not going to be used for that type of applications. There are applications where they're dry use, and what can happen is after a time, that circuit board is no use. It becomes junk. There's not a whole lot you can do with the fibers and everything else that the normal printed circuit boards are made of. So this one, again, they can just throw it in some water, let it dissolve, reclaim the valuable, the precious metals, everything else in it, and reuse those into an updated PCB for that same project, or just recycle it for an overall universal project. So very cool thing happening with PCBs and 3D printing. Next up, we have an amphibious vehicle. This is going to be a drone, which is not what you typically see. We've seen drones with flotation devices that they'll float in the water. We've seen airplanes with the things, pontoons, I don't know what they're called, the airplanes that land and take off on water, those things. They have them in real life, they have RC versions, but this is going to be a drone that is not just 3D printed, but can fly, and it can go into the water, and it can come right back out of the water and launch from the water. So this is actually a variable pitch propeller, so the blades change angle for efficiency in air versus water movement. So of course, moving air, moving water, a little bit different thicknesses in the material there that it's flying in, but they're also able to spin backwards for better underwater maneuvering, so they can go that up and down. And they're all built by a university team, and I didn't record that team name, so I apologize. It is called Aalborg University students. So 3D printed, CNC machined, and coded all by the students. I mean, it's got great potential for obviously search and rescue, marine inspection, anything that requires kind of above water and then into the water view. So a cool new way that we will be seeing that. Next up, we have a 3D printed medical device. We see it all the time. This is going to be for scoliosis. A lot of us, I don't know if they still do it in schools, but a lot of us learn scoliosis in elementary school. The only reason is, at least in the US, they do scoliosis checks. They rub their fingers down your back and see if you have any any form or sign of scoliosis. And overall, let's just imagine a bent back that's not supposed to be bent. It's supposed to be straight. My niece actually had severe scoliosis. Thankfully, she was cured. It wasn't with a 3D printed brace. It was with pins and needles and metal things and whatnots. But she's good now. But this is now something that's going to come out to be a little less evasive. It's going to be able to try to help readjust, retune, and as with 3D printing always, it's customizable. So it doesn't matter the shape, the size of the person. They can design it around that. And then as they grow, if they still need some help or adjustments, they can adjust it for that to continue trying to straighten that back out and get them the proper posture that they're supposed to have. So really cool advancement and more in medical. And next up, we have something from Micro Center. Now, this isn't really news. This is actually a video on Micro Center's YouTube. So shout out to them. They took a tour of NatureWorks plant here in the US, which is the largest PLA material manufacturer in the world, I believe it was. Let me see here. I think I had it down here. I think they are, but yeah, they kind of took through the whole process of PLA starting off with a special type of corn. That corn is all harvested near the plant in that area. They then convert it to lactic acid, and then they polymerize it into PLA. But yeah, they lead the production, operate one of the largest PLA plants in Blair, Nebraska. And the video is just really actually interesting. You kind of get to see the step-by-step. They couldn't put the cameras inside the machines for obvious reasons, but really cool way to just kind of get an idea of how, we're used to just hearing PLA. It's a PLA. What is it? Some people assume it's just an abbreviation of plastic, and it's not. It's polylactic acid. But it's just the chemical makeup. So this gives you a better idea and not the full in-depth. It's easy to understand what they're talking about. And again, it doesn't go super technical, but gives you that idea of where, when you're printing with that PLA, how is it made? Where does it come from? So right here, it's a good video. If you go to Micro Center's YouTube, it's, I think 4 days ago was the video. So they have a few more ahead of it. You'll see this thumbnail. I stole their thumbnail. So look for that thumbnail and click and watch it. And again, just it's a fun, interesting video. And last but not least, we have Bamboo Lab releasing a printer. Who would have thought that they would release a printer? This is going to be their H2D Pro, and it's pretty much the H2D. It does come packaged with some extra stuff. So the encoder plate to make it even more precise in the accuracy of printing. Tungsten carbide nozzle. Does have Ethernet. It's going to have a kill switch, which kind of can do to the H2D now. There's a port in the back anyway, but it comes with some extras for a little extra price. Now again, this is not for consumers. It's not made, it's not targeted, it's not priced for us consumers to go put in our workshop to have fun with. This is for enterprises that want the security. They want to be able to not have it wireless, they're not connected, have to have a kill switch. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. Obviously people do the marketing research. They see what does enterprise customers need, what do they need, and they adapt their printers to that. That's where we're seeing the X1E was basically this is the X1E version H2D. So are you going to buy it? Probably not. If you are, hats off. It is all gray/black instead of the light color on the side panels. If you want to pay the premium for it, hats off to you. I'd be interested in seeing your setup. But that is it for the headlines. We're going to head over to Spool to Spotlight. And if you're new here, what is Spool to Spotlight? Well, it's sharing the community prints that are shared in our Show Off Prints channel on our Discord at discord.polymaker.com, where I just go through every week for every show and pick out some prints. It's not always the best prints. It's sometimes the failures. It's sometimes the goofy prints. It's sometimes just the cool prints. But you share there, and there's really no restriction on me showing it or have a possibility of me showing it on the stream. Unless it's inappropriate, but then it's probably going to be removed from our Discord. So hats off. TMAT1773 has printed the Articulated Octopus by Major Dave. I definitely did not read that when I typed it the first time as Mahir Dave, and maybe that's what he meant it as, but Major Dave, I believe it's available on printables, and this is the multicolor. I like the fact that we've seen a lot of articulated octopuses, octopi, but it's got the suction cups. Obviously not working suction cups, but it's a fun little print, so I appreciate you sharing. Next up, we have Frankenbee, who went way out of his comfort zone and printed something not so big. So this is like, that's what, probably a 1/100th scale of what you normally print, but it's a cool print nonetheless. It's a DeLorean key holder hanging on the wall. It looks like a metal wall. Maybe he magnetized it, which would be cool. The design is by Fabio Bessie 23. You can read it on the screen there. It's available on Maker World for you to download and print yourself in multicolor. I think this one, I've looked at this before. I think it's in pieces, so you do not have to have an AMS. But don't quote me on that. Go check out for yourself. Next up, we have CGS Creations printed the Ozzy Osbourne coaster in memorial of him, of course. And this is designed by Into the Abyss, available on Maker World. And just another cool print, multicolor, face down. Amazing how we can hide the layer lines of things to make it look like an injection molded piece. And coasters, there's so many things you can do with coasters now. If you throw on logos, designs, you know, putting somebody, whether it be a loved one or somebody that you followed and thought was cool, is an awesome way to do it. Next up, we have the Cab Over Truck Print in Place truck. Almost wrapping up to be the holidays. It's closer than I wanted to actually admit to it, but these print in place trucks, similar to the Fix 'em Dude, he did take inspiration from Fix 'em Dude and one other person, I believe, that they're a robust print in place. Not saying they can't be broke, anything can be broken, but a little more safer toys for the kids if you want to print these out. It prints out on its side, going up, and the wheels all move. And of course, Cruising Girl printed this out and loaded on some little piggies. So it's a piggy truck, but it's got a truck bed. You can load whatever you want onto it. And this is available again by the Free Heathen over on Maker World. And last but not least, we have Bearded Printer. I apologize, Bearded Printer. I left out Mousy. It's the format of the picture and everything I had to trim up. So I did not use the Mousy one, but school year's here already. My kid's starting next Tuesday. You want to suck up to the teacher, have your kids print one of these. Or if you just want to have them have a cool pencil container. Some schools have very strict rules on pencil containers and cases and whatnot. If you're not one of those, print out this one. This is actually a very cool one, designed by Bearded Printer, printed by him, and it is available on things, and it's called the pencil container. And I think it says something else like pencil shaped container print or something. But just search pencil container or Bearded Printer. You should check out his profile. He has a lot of fun things. But that is it for all the prints this week. If you want to possibly be featured on next week's show, share away in our Show Off Prints channel. A lot more people are doing it, so it's making it a lot harder to go through and decide which one's a show. But always share. It's always inspiring others, whether I use it or not. We all appreciate it. And that is it for that. We're going to take a commercial break, and after that, we're going to meet somebody who does some 3D printing. Who would have thought it? We'll see you soon.
Has this ever happened to you? Have you just been minding your own business and you drop your PLA print?
There's gotta be a better way.
Well, now there is. With our Polylite PLA Pro, you won't have to worry about dropping your PLA prints ever again. Just look how these tests held up to our drop test, the same one that we did with PLA. If you need even more impact resistance, make sure you check out our Polymax PLA. This hammer is no match for Polymax PLA.
This is Polymax PLA, the toughest PLA in the world, and today we're gonna put that to the test. I printed this very mechanical model and we're gonna drop it from the 12th floor. You heard me well, the 12th floor. Let's go! Ready for the first drop in 3, 2, 1. Whoa, that's crazy! Not even a scratch! Let's go and check it closer. Not even a single scratch. I dropped it again from the 12th floor and still not a single scratch. Buy your Polymax PLA right now.
Performance may vary depending on usage, individual factors, and external condition. Individual result may vary, not a guarantee of specific outcome. Consult your professional before use. See website for details and limitations. Use responsibly.
Are you into cosplay and prop making? Are you tired of having to break out those power tools to sand those lines away? And don't forget about all that hand sanding. Cramps. Ouch. Introducing Polymaker's Cos PLA, available in 2 different versions, version A and version B. Both versions are still easier to stand than standard PLA. Find out more at us.polymaker.com.
Aliens have come to take over our planet. What will we do? With modern technology and superior materials, we may have a chance. The only good bug is a dead bug. Polymaker. Add to your game.
And welcome back to the show. That's our commercials. I need to rotate them because it's about due time. Or if you want to submit your own, we have a commercials channel on our Discord. You can create your own commercial that could potentially be used in the show. So have fun with it and do a parody, do something, you know, silly, cool, serious, whatever you might do. But it does not need a Hollywood budget. Just have fun with it, share it, and if it is used, then you get $100 in Polymaker gift card or coupon code if you want to be more exact. But we're here to meet somebody because that's what we do every single Meet the Polymaker show. And this gentleman actually was became a member of our community. I want to say recently. He's been around, but he's come to the community. We've learned of some projects he does. We might help him with some and some in the future. And some of you guys might actually recognize it as soon as I introduce him that I'm delaying. Please welcome in SometimesLone or Brent. How's it going, man?
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. Seriously, thank you.
Oh no, I appreciate it. Like I said, as soon as well, we talked a little bit before the show, of course, is the turret, which we'll get to in a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, you know what, all this stuff, and then plus your backdrop. You got the ideal backdrop. Like I said, I'm sure some people in chat are already like nitpicking, like, okay, what is it? Oh, it's Rust for those that don't know. But
Yep.
we'll get to that. But real quick, for those that don't know the name, don't know the face, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so on the socials, I go by SometimesLone or just Lone on Discord. I like to make real life Rust things. If you had asked me 6 months ago, I wouldn't have told you that. But yeah, I started recently. It's been about 3.5, 4 months. I just started off making one thing, posted it on Reddit. It got a lot of affirmation. I was like, maybe I could do something with this. So I just kept doing one more thing after another, and sure enough, it's kind of becoming an actual base from the game Rust, which is a survival game for those that aren't aware. I highly recommend it. It's definitely a time suck, but it's a super fun game. But yeah, as you can tell, I've started to take it a little bit more seriously now, and it's been a super fun hobby. Polymaker has actually helped me a lot during this venture as well. So huge hats off to Polymaker.
Oh, we can't wait to see even more. I don't know how much more you're gonna be able to fit in the room, but I mean, all the stuff in the back. And what's crazy is, so like you said, is you started 3 months ago. So obviously you went in head first and then just kept diving, right? Because I mean, you got a lot behind you, and those aren't just like, oh, little miniatures or little desktop things. Those are, like you said, life-size stuff.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a deep set personality thing. When I start on something, nothing else
You get the
gets done.
hyper-focus,
I
yeah.
hyper focus on it, which is like, sometimes a good and bad thing.
Yeah. No,
if you
it
ask my
turns out
wife.
pretty cool. So now I know, of course, has the turret video released?
Yes, the
I
turret
understand.
video is released. I've got one of the shorts that I actually posted on Sunday has actually been the most outperforming video I've ever done by like 8 point something times.
Oh wow.
I think
Congrats.
in the last 3 days, it's around like I think it's climbing up towards 300,000 views.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, it's the turret's pretty cool.
Oh
I'm still
yeah.
working on my long form formats. I've still not dialed in how to get super successful on those, but I'm gonna do multiple videos of the auto turret, so it's not gonna be the last.
Awesome. So
But
now,
people
real
have
quick, oh, go
loved it.
ahead. Oh yeah, so we'll go back then. Is of course this project itself you started 3 months ago. When did you
Mhm.
actually get started in 3D printing?
Yeah, so 3D printing, I've always been fascinated about whenever it started to become more into the consumer world. I think it was like maybe in the early 20 teens. And I bought my first printer in 2018. It was an Ender 3, just a standard Ender 3, like the Toyota
Yep.
Camry at the time, basically.
Exactly.
And I stuck with that for a long time. I've like, in fact, about a month into my venture, I made the upgrade to a new printer, and going from like 30 to 40 millimeters a second to like 600 was a pretty decent change. I'm currently rocking the Creality K2 Plus.
All
It's
right, so you
it's
guys got
similar
some
to
good
like the
size.
Bamboo,
Yep.
and yeah, it's a unit. But I'd say it started about 2018, and I've just been fascinated with it. The world, like, there's something about seeing something on your computer, sending it to a device, and just watching it manufacture something. It's it's
Absolutely.
it's unlike anything else. It's
And it
really
doesn't
neat.
matter if it's even a cube, a small thing, or
Yeah,
anything. Is it
anything.
just anything like it went from digital to now it's in my hand? Like we've never had that before. I mean, I know it's been around for a bit, but consumers haven't really had that until in the last what 10 so years. But yeah, it's just
Yeah,
and now that we're getting to the point that it's speed, quality is all there. Now I can have that thing in my hand faster, even better, or
for
bigger
sure.
in your case.
Yeah, definitely bigger in my case. And it didn't always start big. I actually, I've got a prop here that I kind of keep on hand that reminds me, but I actually started off printing little miniatures. So like I've got the shotgun trap in Rust is something to help protect your base. And
Yep.
before I built that, I actually 3D printed just a little miniature one. Um, yeah, I was like, I think I could build that, and then it just kind of went from there.
Now, was it the miniatures like that with the video game and everything else that got you wanting to 3D print? That you started 3D printing?
It's been a minute. I've slept since then. I think it was definitely related to Rust. I was seeing,
Um,
people post on Etsy selling like little holiday presents and stuff like that. Whether it was like a miniature, like a gun from the game, or furnace with a little tea candle in it.
yeah,
And I was like, I want to do that. I started looking into printers. I think the Ender 3 at the time was like 200,
250 or something. I think
yeah,
two
something
forty
like
nine
that.
ninety nine was like the sweet point, and until they went on sale for like $100 every few months.
Yeah, and I made a couple. I'm very minimal with my upgrades. I made a couple upgrades. I know you can really mod the heck out of
Oh
those,
yeah,
but
yep.
I didn't go all out with that. I just decided a few months ago, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and since people really seem to like what I'm doing, I'm gonna go ahead and get a printer and go from there.
So now you said the first thing that kind of took off was something you posted to Reddit. What was your very first life size piece?
Yeah, my very first life-size prop was actually the rocket. So the rocket launcher, I'm flipped, is
Yeah.
up here. I actually crafted the rocket first, which is in the box. And I posted on a Reddit. I said, life-size rocket from Rust, and it was like the top post on like the Rust subreddit. I'm not a huge Reddit person, but I was like,
I'll
I don't
post
know,
it
I'll
there.
just
These
post
people
it.
should love
See,
this. Yeah, they'll either love
yeah,
it or they'll rip it apart.
yeah. They'll, I mean, worst case, they'll just downvote it, and I'll just never use it again.
Yep.
But no, people really liked it. It got like I think like 2 or 3 thousand upvotes, which was pretty good for that subreddit. And then I'd continue doing that. I made the rocket launcher. I followed that up with like the shotgun trap, the large box, and a few other things. And every one of those were always like top posts. I don't spam it now since I make so many things, but
Yeah.
I just decided to make my own socials and post the videos, and
There and there.
especially shorts. I
Yeah.
found shorts to be my favorite kind of format with videos.
A little bit easier too, a little less work into editing and everything else, and
Oh, for
just
for
trying
sure.
to, like you said, it's just
I'll
finding out
gladly
what
admit that.
works. Yeah, what setup works, and start this way, end this way. Like, yeah, that's what I love about the fact that I just do live streams. Is if it goes off the rails, it goes off the rails. It is
True.
what it is, no matter the outcome. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. The editing part definitely is not my most favorable.
yeah, I don't blame you there. Now, of course, people can see everything behind you. The
Mhm.
one thing that might be the most noticeable is the little flickering flame back there. Now that wasn't fully 3D printed. There were some other uses into that, correct?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a hybrid. The furnace, it was about a 2.5 week project, second place from the auto turret. The furnace started off actually as an upside down flower pot with some chicken wire, just as like a very rough shape. If anybody would have seen that primitive version of it, you would have been like, "This dude's crazy. You're not building a furnace."
What is he doing?
But I lined it with spray foam, shaved the spray foam, and then around the bottom part, I did need to add some rocks, and I didn't want to like mold my own rocks with like clay or like drywall compound. So
Yeah.
I actually used 3D printing to supplement the shapes of the rocks to not only save on the weight and the cost and everything,
Yeah.
but also help the aesthetics. So it's a
And then
little bit of everything.
And then now the flame there, because it looks pretty good. I mean, the brightness, everything. What are you using for the flame?
Yeah, so it's actually like a night light
fire?
you could buy on Amazon, and
Okay.
I harvested it a little bit, kind of took it apart. That way it could be as flush as possible with the
Oh,
with the
nice. Okay.
furnace. But it's a very simple circuit, just got a little battery,
Rechargeable
and it
battery.
used to be like a little hub you would put at like your kid's bedside, basically. So
Okay, yeah.
took it
But
apart.
now
It's
we're to the point
rechargeable, or I could
that
plug
you
it
could
in.
just take that light and 3D print your own flame. Not that there's a
I
point
definitely
because you got it
could.
now, but
Yeah, I definitely could. It seems so much into this hobby, I've learned that you learn so much just in the process of
Yep.
making the auto turret. I've learned so many things that would have helped me out with so many different previous projects.
Yeah. So on
Whether
that, like
it's
as the project itself is, you derived it from an original model of a small
correct.
original model, but you end up doing a heavy modification to it, right?
Yeah. So I modified about 80 to 85% of it. Still give huge credits to him because it gave me a base model to kind of go with, like whether
Yeah.
the shape itself. So I had to trim and remake a bunch of the elements on the auto turret. I think that the red drum, is about the only part that's air quote vanilla from what the model originally came with, and the rest of it I pretty much did from scratch. And it was a task and a lot of humbling experiences for sure, because I'm so used to knocking something out rather quickly. Like I said, I hyper
Mhm.
focus on something. That one tested me for sure.
Some
I spent
modifications, some prints, some more modifications, some more prints.
Yeah, for sure. I've got a box of depression down here as well. I'm sure some people of are familiar with, but these are all just the scrap parts from the turret. No previous projects or anything. So it took a lot of reprints and modifications of some parts. And I would say that's probably a whole spool or two worth of plastic I had to go through,
That happens, you know, like I
unfortunately.
said, trial and error. But so now with the modeling part too, then is, do you have a background in modeling, or is this a self-taught thing that you picked up along the way?
Very self-taught, and if there are any modelers out there, I apologize in advance, but I use a website called Tinkercad, which is basically like
Hey,
the
a
the
lot of people
kindergarten
do.
of modeling.
I'm not gonna lie, I just used it today because I normally use 3D Builder because I don't do a whole
Okay.
lot of modeling. I do like editing some files and this and that. 3D Builder has been a pretty good tool for me, but I was trying to get this exact shape, and it was just much easier. I went to Tinkercad; they had the pre-shape, and I just had to stretch it, skew it, and everything else. I just used it today to finish up a project, so I
It's
won't
so
judge you.
nice. They make it so simple. It's got pre-made shapes. I've
Yeah.
got this on hand every time. I've
Yep.
got the calipers, actually the
I know
batteries are
that feeling.
dead, but I just use it.
Yeah, proof that I was actually doing something today. I mean, my green screen's
There
gonna
you
knock
go.
it out, but I have mine
A
right at
real
the
3D
waist of the
printer
crew.
person definitely has a caliper on standby. If you don't, highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
There you go. So then, was that something that you got into when you got into 3D printing with the modeling stuff, or was that something that kind of came later?
Yeah, it kind of slowly eased its way in. So I would say one of the first models that I started modifying existing models, because that's a good way to start, in my opinion, is just making small edits to an existing model, so you don't have to do
Absolutely.
something from scratch. The first one was actually the jackhammer. That one actually added a little bit of functionality to it, because I thought it was a cool model. I could definitely, even looking at it, I could go back and reprint so much of this, because there's like you can tell it's a little low poly on like the body itself.
Yeah.
But with that
Blur
said, it was a learning
faces.
experience. Um, I hollowed out the fuel can to where I could add a little like MP3 player that I bought on Amazon. You could upload your own custom sounds, and then I routed
Mm.
a little wire up through to the handle and made the handle functional because it used to be static. and to where you can push the button, and it actually plays like the jackhammer sound from Rust.
That is pretty cool. So now, okay, so you had an MP3 player, obviously have that trigger mechanism. Is it just, what is it doing? Is it pushing play on the player, or what? How is that all set up?
Yeah, so it's got a little push button right here, and on this side, since all my videos, for anybody curious, I do it in like a POV style. So you're like, as a
Same
Rust
here.
player, you're basically mounted to my chest. So I mounted the wire accordingly to where you don't actually see it on the side that you would see in the video. But on this side, it's a little bit more dirty. I basically have a push button and then routed some small gauge wire all the way through, around to the fuel can, and then to the player itself. So whenever you push the button itself, that's whenever it plays the.
Okay, so it came like with the speaker built in and everything, the player itself.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
so
a little
made like a
kit. You could
preload
put it in
thing.
like a. Yeah, it was like a. You put it in like a holiday card or something like that, or
Okay,
like
yeah.
a present or something, and it's just the activation of the push button that came with it. Just plays whatever sound you upload to it.
That is pretty awesome. And then
Yeah.
just another way of just kind of scrapping things or using them for different intentions, especially with 3D printing. That's actually very cool with it.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an itch with adding some sort of flair to a 3D print. Like it's one thing to just 3D print something and then, you have the model. It's one thing to 3D print it and paint it, and then it's another step to 3D print it, paint it, and then have a little bit of functionality to
LEDs
it.
or music or
Yeah.
movement or, oh yeah, nope, I agree. Yeah, there's definitely tiers.
For
And
sure.
while all
I
of them
think
are
that's
awesome, it's just like how much, I think with the higher the tier you go, the more patience you lose. I think maybe how that goes.
Yep. Yep.
So now
The
talk about
AI
higher-
tracking and everything and the auto turret. Whew,
Hopefully
that
I
was
don't cancel.
humbling.
Actually, hold on. Let me give me 1 second here. Where is the power button? Does it not have one? I just dumped water over my keyboard, which is not too uncommon, it seems, lately. But we'll let
Oh
it.
no.
Well,
Is
I
the
just want to
stream
make
still
sure.
going?
Yeah, it's still going. I just want to make sure that it doesn't cancel out. I need to get one of those sippy cups, I guess, so it can't.
You need a kill
spill.
switch.
Yeah. But yeah, so okay, so talking about tiers and everything is the turret. Obviously, that wasn't just a print; that was a paint. But you also made it track, which is a new thing that you weren't familiar with, also, right? And a kind of a new acquired skill.
Yeah, definitely loosely use the term skill. I had like Claude hold my hand considerably. AI definitely helped the process along there. I knew kind of the logic and the behavior from the game that I needed to have, and luckily the producer of Rust sent me all the MP3 files for the auto turret that it would need anyway. So I was like, that's super cool. I've got AI, I've got the sound. Now what do I do? And the AI kind
Yeah.
of broke it down, told me exactly what I needed to do, and it's basically just a Python script. And yeah, it can have a few different
Now it follows you.
behavioral.
So now, do you have
Yeah.
that just something that you turn on every so often, or do you just leave it on so it's always like tracking you as you come in?
I usually leave it in this kind of like this idle mode where it just pans left and right. I have a little remote that has a few buttons programmed to it, so I can turn it on and off. I can turn the laser itself on and off because I don't want it to shine my kids in the eye or anything.
Yeah.
But usually I'll actually turn it in its off position, just so that way I don't know anything about servos, so I don't know if there's like a lifespan of servos.
Oh, like if it's
I
holding
learned
like a
so
load or something. Yeah.
Yeah, the painting one not so much. I've got that balance really well kind of tuned so that the painting one doesn't require much, torque at all. But the tilting one definitely that is the element that I had to re-engineer a ton. I didn't know anything about tensioning belts or gears until that. So
And
but
it turned
it's
out awesome. So
definitely
does it just use a standard webcam?
yeah, so it uses a what's that? Like an
Logitech.
smart cam,
Oh,
something like
okay,
that.
smart.
I used a round one. So if you go on Amazon, you
Okay.
search like round webcam or something like that. It was one of their like 1080p 30 FPS webcams, and it because I definitely needed it round to fit the housing that I had in mind I was wanting to make for it.
Yep.
And yeah, that's what the Python script used for the AI vision. It uses the YOLO V8 AI model to track like people and stuff.
And so now, it locks on just, so it's not necessarily, does it lock on movement or does it lock on like, it wants to detect a person?
It's actually a person. Yeah, I can
Okay.
actually start it up right quick as well. Knowing
Now,
my
does it
like
get
behavior.
confused if there's multiple people, or is it just kind of lock onto the first one and stay there until it's out of the way?
That's a great question. I didn't even consider that until I was basically done with the turret, because I'm the only one in here most of the time. But when my
Yeah.
kids come in here, it does kind of, whichever one is more in sight, it kind of takes priority, so it
Okay.
can flip flop.
So it doesn't go too crazy. It just
Yeah, it doesn't. Let's see here.
I'm not sure the age of your kids, but was it once it was finished and set up and they walked in and it, first pointed at them, did they just lose it? Were they excited?
Yeah, they thought it was kind of cool. They don't know what any of this stuff is, and I don't plan to teach them what Rust is. It's a game way out of their age bracket. But yeah, it's I don't know if you could see on the feed here, but yeah, it's following me now.
Hey, yep.
But it was a huge learning process. I learned about Arduinos. I learned about gears and tensioning belts.
That's
I'd
some
say for anyone
dedication
interested in
not having the
making
skill.
stuff. Yeah, I had the will, for sure. But if anybody's interested in making stuff, you just start with baby steps, and sure enough, eventually enough baby steps, and you'll get to a point where you have something cool. Whether it's fixing your car, building a shelf for your mom, like just get started.
So now with like real world work, is it any of that tie into this to where it kind of helped you learn, or was it just you came in blank slate?
Basically blank slate. I run a game server, so I actually run a Rust server. And then part-time I'm a contractor to help with billing and collections. So not super
really,
applicable.
Yeah,
but
yeah, no, I'd call that a blank slate in comparison.
yeah,
to,
definitely a
then,
blank slate.
other than of course the printing and everything else that took some time, is just on learning for the servos, the motors, and everything else, and the tracking. How long did that take? And I know you used AI to help you along the way, but what was that process about? How long?
Yeah, so it definitely started with issues, and then you identify the
Kinda.
issue, maybe have AI kind of guide you why you have that issue. I've got a clip in one of my videos of the turret whenever I first made it, where I've recorded myself watching it for the first time, try to do the tilting up motion to where it goes into the level position from the opposition, and it just jitter and then dropped all the way back. I was like, okay, it's not strong enough or something, and I got a 20-kilogram servo, but that 20 kilograms is only 1 centimeter from the point of origin of the servo, not like a foot and a half out lifting up. So like the torque wasn't enough that far back. And that's whenever I was looking into options, the AI helped me, identify some options, like you can use gears to offload the torque. And I ended up just going with a tensioning belt, which utilizes gears still in kind of a different
And
way.
it worked.
Yeah, it worked. Luckily, I also, using kind of the gears from Amazon, I engineered around the gears so that way I didn't have to be too. I didn't want to get too difficult. So like the rod itself, I made sure the diameter of my plastic would fit the rod and stuff like that. So it's
and all relatively easy to source parts.
Yeah, I didn't have to do anything custom. That would have cost much more. So I wanted to work around, just kind of cheaper, like Amazon gears and steel rods and stuff, or aluminum rods.
Now with the coding, of course, is one thing to code it to track people and everything else. Was it, what part did you do first? Did you do the pre-programmed like panning that it's doing now, or did you go straight in towards the webcam stuff?
Yeah, so I basically, the top unit minus the prop gun and the housing itself, just the little shaft itself with the part that tilts and pans. I just had that sit on my desk with I masking taped a webcam to it, and that's where I was kind of doing all the testing and stuff like that. So there was no weight or torque needed. I had it functioning perfectly on my desk, and then I installed it and realized, like, okay, now weight is involved, and now there's like some give, because it's so many different parts. There's like a little bit of like wiggle and stuff, so I have to take into consideration on the AI behavior not to whip somewhere too quickly, because then it wants to constantly overcorrect. And it was it was a humbling experience. I cannot understate that.
And of course there's a lot of stuff in Rust, whether it be weapons, tools, building stuff, etc. You got a lot of stuff already. Obviously just got finished with the auto turret. Do you have future plans yet, or do you just kind of play it by ear?
Yeah, so I definitely want to go as far as I can and eventually maybe even get into other games. Not like you mentioned earlier, my office is starting to fill up pretty quickly. So I'm not against the idea of making some of the other bigger props like a workbench and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The only thing is I would probably relocate that out of my base, whether it's in my garage or even maybe make it for Face Punch Studios, which is the game studio that makes Rust itself.
Oh, yeah.
They've not hit me up directly about that, but I think that would be a good avenue to allow me to make something cool and then maybe put it in
Not
their
have
like
to house
studio
it.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My wife doesn't care what I make as long as it stays in here.
There you go. Yep. We got all got our spots. Anybody that's out there married, you guys know we all have our spots
Yeah.
that we can kind of do with what we want, but it doesn't
Yep.
get into the living area. So,
Yeah.
so now with it being, of course, Rust themed, it's a Rust base. Do you call it your base? Do you
I've
ever say I'm going
I've
to my
gotten
base?
to the point where I do actually. Yeah, yeah. I'll even add in more lore about like how I do my daily activities. He'll be like, "Oh man, hey guys, I'm going offline. I'll see you later," or I'll just all sorts of different phrases. I don't know. It's very spur of the moment, but
It's
it's
now just blending your Rust world into your real world, and you're not going to be able to differentiate which one's which.
yeah, yeah. Basically, whenever I first made the shotgun trap, long before the auto turret, people were saying how they would have like they imagined like they would have PTSD walking into their game room or office seeing that
With a
because like
shotgun trap.
that's the one thing you don't want to see whenever you're raiding a base is that.
Fair, yep.
But,
So now
but
is
yeah, I've got a lot more planned. I want to like do a wall texture in here. That sounds a bit much, but I'm already deep into this, so why not?
keep
But
going with it. Yep.
something with a texture on the wall, I think would be pretty cool. I've just not determined if I want to paint it on or if I want to do some sort of like printed vinyl or wallpaper or something.
Now,
But
yeah,
it
one
is
thing
planned.
is yeah, well, I guess the K2 Plus does do TPU is additive Adam. I know you've talked to him before in the Discord. Is he did for the past couple events did TPU hue forges, and they were wood planks. So I'll have to ask him to share the picture with you. Is and that was nice because basically it looked like a commercially bought vinyl like stick on for like a backsplash.
I didn't
so
even
you could
think about printing the wall texture. Like
yeah.
kind of like a puzzle piece basically, and they would just seamlessly like go together maybe.
Well, they were just all like, I think he had like 5 total different designs of like wood planks. They were just squares, and you kind of
Okay.
put them all together with them. But I mean, you could easily put adhesive on the back or 3M. Whether you wanted to go with something that has a little bit of flex to it, or I guess if you print it, you could just print solid plastic tiles and do brick. And but I think a hue forge would probably help you get that depth, so it looks like it has the
Yeah.
depth, and it's only it's lightweight. It's not taking up a whole inch of your wall.
Man, I've never
Or
even
an inch off
considered
your
that
wall.
because I could match it to like the floor, like crown molding or something, to where
Yeah.
like it just seamlessly goes from the floor to the wall. Like,
Yep, yeah. I just recently
getting
actually
some
was doing
ideas
some
here.
molding and with a project I was doing for my doorway. I'm like, you know what? I could have probably just 3D printed like custom molding. But it's like, then again, if I did that, the project would not be complete for another 12 months. So, so
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
with store bought molding.
Yeah, the printing of the process of printing definitely it tests patience for sure. The barrel, as you can imagine, that was a really big part. It was
Oh
split
yeah,
up basically like a pizza and like into 8 total pieces, but it was cut this way and then 2 pieces that way. And there were some parts that even with a big fancy printer, it was still like a 20 something hour print because it just uses up 350 millimeters cubed of
oh
volume.
yeah, yep. The bigger it is, the longer it's going to take, and the lot more
Yep.
filament, and a lot more,
Yeah.
a lot larger fails when when it happens.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the restoring of power loss is something I'm eternally grateful for in these new printers that just the Ender 3 really didn't have, or like running out of filament. It just, it's got a whole
Yeah, it
magazine up
was
there of
a lot
ones
more
just to go into.
manual back in the day.
Yeah, the little paper getting underneath, like
Yeah.
leveling it with the paper.
Now, do you still have that original? I always ask people with their originals. Do you still have your original 3D printer?
I do, and I'm waiting for the time I can find a high school student or something that I think would really appreciate having a 3D printer because that would be a good introduction, like it was for me, to really learn how they
That's what I
work
even
and
say to this day is
problem.
if you got somebody that doesn't want to tinker, that has no interest whatsoever, then yes, get a Bamboo or get one of the new printers. But if you got somebody that's got the mind for mechanical, electrical, engineering, whatever, get it still. Ender 3. It still prints great. Yes, it's slow. But the biggest thing, because I actually my 2 of my kids that started, that's what they started on, is it gives them a better understanding of how it all works. You know, mind you, will they ever need to know how it works? You know, by the time that they're adults, 3D printers are going to be appliances, and they're going to be plug in, and you call it tech if you need some help. But I think it's good to just understand more about it and how it works.
Yeah,
And
for
they
sure.
just work.
They do just work. That's the nice part. The new stuff, especially the maintenance that you don't have to do, is you can't appreciate it unless you have
You've
those,
been
you know,
through
those
it.
more primitive ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was. I think, of course, there's a lot of cool stuff. The speed is great and everything with the new stuff. But one of the things I'm most excited about that just works, that once they start to implement it more in the products, is auto bed leveling. Because as you
Oh my
said,
goodness,
the
yeah.
paper, the 4 knobs, and then like you adjust this one, this one, this one. You gotta go down like 4 other times because if I adjust this, it takes this one out of whack. And
Yeah, like one
it's
quadrant
like-
affects the other one.
Yeah.
You've got to like,
It's like I'm just trying to get it level. Like science doesn't make sense.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
that. I'm glad it's come a long way, and I really truly didn't know how much the printing has evolved. I should have known, and in 5 years' time, a lot can happen and evolve.
Yeah.
But going from an Ender 3 to like these newer printers, I saw the print speed alone. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't even justify using my Ender 3 now. Like that one could just do it much faster than I would be goofing with that one.
Oh yeah.
So, but I'm looking for the right opportunity, the right kid, the right, adult, whoever it is. Like if they
Somebody
have,
just
like you said, that
appreciate it and
mindset.
actually use it. Yeah, not just I'll
Yeah,
take it
yeah.
and it goes collects the dust somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
So now with
But,
the I know you said, of course, Rust is your main game. Do you wouldn't mind making some stuff for other games? Is there any other game models that you have made or you plan on making, like full
I
size?
Yeah, so I've been a huge fan of the not so much the newer Call of Duties, but some of the older Call of Duties. So like Call of Duty 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, some of
Okay.
those. I was a huge zombie head, so I loved World at War, Black Ops 1. I would love to 3D print
OGs.
a ray gun or a thunder gun. I think those would be super cool. There is a couple people who have made those, and I think there's somebody even on Etsy that sells a whole thunder gun. And I was like, God, I
I
cannot
could use
justify
that.
$500, but I want to make that.
Yeah, but if I can get the plastic, I got the 3D printer. So do you
Yeah,
think
yeah,
if you
exactly.
were to go that route on any of them, would you, now that you've kind of toyed with the Arduino and things like that, do you think you would take it up that tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 notch of adding stuff? Or
Most definitely. I think anything now, I favor props where I can add some functionality to them. I've got several that are just in my crafting queue. That's a term from Rust. I've got several in my crafting queue that I've made that just don't have any functionality, and I don't have much drive to make them because I
yeah,
just know they wouldn't be as, sought after. So I definitely want to do the props that I can spice up in a way. Like there's the next prop I actually want to make is I've got several different trap variations: the shotgun trap, the auto turret, and there's also a flame turret. The flame turret, you can legally obtain and purchase flamethrowers in the US. Even the small ones to like burn weeds in your yard. And I
yeah,
plan on getting one of those little like weed burner ones that spray, a couple feet out, and use it for the flame turret for outside safety use only, of course.
yeah.
But
Shooting a flame,
it's
I think the wife would kill you before the flame did.
yeah, I wouldn't do that in my office. It's already hot enough in here anyway.
Bring it inside for the winter, and just to heat up the office. Like, yeah, who
I
doesn't
think
want
the
a
flame
flame
turret
turret?
would be absolute eye candy, though. It would be so cool to have a video of it just, going off.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when somebody's detected who's not authorized on a base, its behavior is just to freak out and shoot, flame
Anything, it
rapidly
just
left and right.
spray.
Yeah, and it'd be much more simple to program from the auto turret as well, because there's no AI tracking. It just fans left and right. I could probably use
So
like
it
an
just does a
oscillating
pan.
fan.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, just scrap down some of those or one of those and call it a day. And with that, I think too, it opens up a lot of content for just that. Well, I guess a lot of video for that one, video you make, or if you make it into a series, is what can you torch? What can the flame torch?
Yeah.
Make some s'mores.
The durability
on
of
it, burn
I could
some
even do another
weeds.
prop, like one of the simple props. I could see, the durability of like one of the guns in the game or something.
Yeah, if it's not a constant flame and too much heat, I know a place that makes some material that holds up to heat really well. So yeah,
That'd
I
be a
know
long
guy.
video for sure. Yeah, you know a guy.
Yep.
I've heard they got some good stuff cooking.
I've heard a thing or two.
That's another thing. I would have benefited actually hitting you up first whenever I was making this auto turret. Well, you knew I was making the auto turret, but
Yep.
one thing that I just kind of powered through without considering different types of plastic was the legs. I stuck with PLA,
The load
basically
bearing.
everything that makes PLA, but the legs, they actually undergo a lot of torque, and I had to make adjustments to the structure of them and everything. That I definitely could have benefited having some, like, some nylon or some of the stronger materials.
'Cause that's the thing with that turret too, is as you were just saying, they can't see because of the little window cut that I have on here. Is it's not like it's on a metal post and then just has aesthetic legs. The legs are what hold it
They're,
up.
they're functional, yeah, they're fully functional. In the back, I do I do actually have some Polymaker boxes, like the boxes that are much out of the vision, but in
Yep.
case my kids run in and put their weight on it or
Oh
something,
yeah, yeah.
just as extra insurance. The legs do really well at holding it up, but
But yeah, outside
after
forces, you would
altercations,
rather not test the limits of it.
yeah, I'm not gonna go sit on it or anything.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. Oh, we'll
Yeah.
get ready to open up some community questions. So anybody that's got a question for Brent here, let him know, whether it be about Rust or printing or anything about him. Let us know, which looks like we do already have a question. I am feeling a fan of delicious flavor. Ask him if he'll do a 3D printed mini copter. He plays
A
Rust
3D
too.
printed mini copter. That would be something.
A
But
functioning one or just
wouldn't
for aesthetics?
a real mini copter be better? And then I just skin it to look like Rust? I think that would be even cooler.
There you go. A little more safe and functional than a 3D printed version, unless you're
Yeah.
just going aesthetics. But then
Yeah,
it comes to the point too of where you're gonna put it. The
Yeah,
wife
exactly.
probably doesn't want that as a
They
lawn
look small in the
ornament.
game, but they're bigger than a whole room. I don't know if I would actually fly one. I think you can legally have like a lightweight aircraft. And like anybody can
I
do a
think so,
lightweight
yeah.
aircraft
Yep.
without having a pilot's license. But something about having one blade just go above your head, not super sold on that.
Just, I mean, which I know if you fall from a certain height, it doesn't matter if you're in a metal cage or not, but it just still seems so much more unsafe than in any other helicopter. Because like you said, yeah, it's like that could cut off my head. There's like I'm sitting on a seat that I can just look over and there's actually no body or frame. Like I don't know, just the feeling. Props to the people that do it, but no,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have the nerve to. Let's see here.
One.
Korea Ricebox has asked, "Where is your rock?"
Where's my rock? That's a good question. Let me see if I've got one. A lot of like these big things too are very practical. Like this cupboard houses all of the plastic. Well, granted, I've used my whole cube, but it holds all my hardware and screws and everything. The box holds a bunch of the stuff that I've
So they are
crafted that I just
functional. It's not just aesthetic.
yeah. So got a few things to get through, but I do have the spawn rock. As a player, you spawn in with a rock and you with a lack of clothes and
Of course, you got a
do
rock.
this to everybody.
You can't not have a rock, right? And now is that 3D
Yeah.
printed then?
Yeah, this is 3D printed. This was I think this was some Amazon brand of plastic. I can't remember exactly which one. I could have sliced this better. I think I used pretty high layer heights, but it being a rock, I knew it should have some kind of jaggedy edges and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's got like some
So did you
like,
weather that
scuffage
then?
to it.
I'll assume by the way it looks. Did you paint and weather it, or did you just print and then weather?
Yeah, so I don't even remember what the original color was, but my primer filler is actually like a gray, like a matte gray. So I just sprayed it with the gray, and then I added a little bit of like a dark brown airbrush through the cracks, and it actually kind of matched the color of this. And whenever I was painting this, I was on a TikTok live, and as I was holding it like this, and I was wearing like a really gray shirt, and it perfectly, like, I don't know if it was the
Like
daylight or what, but
the
it
creases and
perfectly
everything.
matched the creases of my shirt. And I was like, that's crazy just looking at it on the preview. But yes, I do have a rock. It's a big rock.
He has not used it to what do I want to say? Disperse anybody.
No, yeah, no. This rock does not harm anyone.
Let's see. Korea
It's a
Ricebox
PG
also
rock.
asked, "Is a C4 coming?"
A C4 is definitely coming. I've got some ideas for now Twitch auto moderation, if that's a thing. These are all props, not actually real things. So
Yep.
we're talking in the discussion of any explosive. It is not a real one. C4, yeah, definitely coming. I've actually got a little soundboard that I can hook up to it, similar to the jackhammer. I could integrate it into the C4 to where I can just push a little button and then it play the
Starts
sound of the
beeping.
C4. Yeah,
Nice.
start beeping. So, and then at the end it'll have an explosion.
Already on it. Then there,
Yeah, I'm already on it. And then I want to put magnets on the back of it so I can actually,
Stick
when
it.
you toss it, you could stick it to like a garage door or something.
That'll be fun. And let's see. And a couple of them are asking, any plans for, imagine it's Rustige eggs?
Yeah, the eggs. I don't plan to make one of those. So some of the mindset that I have whenever I make props, and granted this may actually be on it, but I try to make the props that are on the PC version of Rust as well as the console version and as well as what I think are going to be on the mobile version since they're about to launch that.
Oh,
So if it's something specific to a console, I don't typically do. That's why a lot of
is
people
that just to be
they'll
more
judge me.
recognizable? So that
Yeah,
people
yeah,
understand, like,
just
oh,
very
where's
standard,
that at?
like the standard stuff, because you can skin most of the items in the game to have all sorts of custom skins, and I do the default skin because it's the most recognizable.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I'll get people in the comments saying like, "Oh, your pore is showing because you don't have skins." I was like, "Yeah, call it what you wish, but
Yeah,
I would
but
rather
you
have the
knew what it
default
was,
skin of
so.
something." Yeah.
Let's see. And let's see. That's not a question, but the DB is immaculate. I don't know what's the DB.
The DB is that. I don't know if I
Okay.
can handle it on camera at all, but it's that one's the double barrel. It's like one of the starter tier weapons,
Okay.
like kind of entry tier weapons that you get in the game. One of the more iconic ones, aside from probably the AK.
Now with that the turret, is that because I know Rust is about, of course, survival, but you scavenge the pieces and parts, right, to build things. So is
Yep.
that like, is the AK a base for the turret? Like you have to have this, and
Yeah, so it used to be a base item to even craft a turret. It's the weapons in Rust are interchangeable, which that I can interchange as well. I can put most of the prop guns that I've made into the turret. I just keep the AK because it's throughout the
oh,
years
so
of
that
Rust.
AK is a separate print then.
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh.
had the AK actually on the wall up there for a while before even
Okay.
putting it into the turret. But it is hot swappable, so I can put whatever prop as long as it fits. Some of them
Yeah.
use like magic physics in Rust to kind of hold it in there, but like it doesn't actually
There's
fit.
no way it actually works. Yeah.
Yeah, so not every prop can fit in there, but like the bolt action, for instance, if I were to turn the turret off and it tilt up, like the back half of the stock would hit the barrel
Yeah.
and
There you go.
stuff like that. But
Let's see here. Another question. Cree Ricebox. Do you believe that Rust is a miniature world?
do I believe that Rust is a miniature world? Yeah, I mean the server that I'm on, it has like 8 billion pop and it doesn't ever wipe. So I mean it's my world.
Yeah, there you go. And they also ask, when will you do pipe automation?
Pipe automation? I don't know if I'll do pipe automation. They're talking about the industrial system they added a little while back, where you can hook up like basically like a pipe to your box to like your furnace, so your furnace can automatically sift things from your box to then smelt the metal. I'm like reversed. Smelt the metal from the sulfur or the metal to the sulfur.
Okay, so it adds that automation rather than you pulling it out, putting it in, waiting for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Now
there
I
you
do
go.
have a couple things with like electricity I would like to integrate. To have a functional auto turret in Rust, you have to have electricity in your base, which either comes from a solar panel, a windmill, or a battery. And I don't have any of those, but I do think it'd be kind of cool to have like just my normal light switch over here. I could make like a housing unit based on the switch that's in the game, so I can actually like flip a switch and then like have a fake wire that goes down to the auto turret just for added
There you go.
immersion. But I
So is
definitely
that
want to do
one
like
of
my
those,
wall
like
textures
the
first.
whole hand switch? Is that what the little
Yeah, it's got
lever?
like a metal housing, kind of like a junction box type thing, and it has like a little
Okay.
switch inside of it.
That'd be cool. Yep. Just add,
Yep.
yeah, because I mean you can't have modern day stuff in there, or else it's not a Rust
Yeah, it
base.
looks weird. Like
Yeah.
I've got a ceiling fan in here. It doesn't fit right.
You have to remove that glass window too. That's not gonna fit.
That's like one of the most commented things on my video. They're like, bro, he has a window to his core, like his loot room. That's crazy. Like
He's really
I can't make
bougie.
that alteration.
Let's see, and another one from Cree Ricebox. Will you make a real working recycler for failed prints?
Oh man, I need to make some sort of recycling unit for my failed prints. The recycler in the game is used to make anything that you don't use anymore. You just put it in there, and it gives you the basic comps, like the components that you can use to craft other things. A recycler would be kind of cool. There was a time where I was looking at some industrial grade recyclers, like those big things that just kind of
Oh, yeah,
chew
crush,
anything you throw
yeah.
into it. And I thought
Always
about
fun to
making a
watch.
custom housing around that. I love those videos too. Actually, they're like there's some maybe I have like
It's satisfying,
inner
like
ADHD
especially
or
whenever they throw
something.
something big in there. Yeah, like you're waiting. The ones that like hover the top for a little while, and then
The
finally
propane
it
tanks,
just bites
yeah, the
into it,
propane tanks
and
will
then it's
just they'll roll
gone.
for a little bit, and it's just like,
Yeah, I agree. They are very fun to watch.
yeah, for
Let's see
sure.
here. Yeah, so it looks like that is the question we have from community for now, and I'll end it off with some rapid fire questions. And I always I prep everybody. The first two are the same questions I do every episode. The other ones you never know where it's going to go. But first question is what is your favorite color or surface effect of filament? And it does not. Oh, you're fine.
But my
children,
kiddo
I know,
just
yeah.
just walked in.
I know,
Give me
I
30
know,
seconds.
I know that motion. Like. And this is our guest for the day, sometimes lone, Brent. He's not very talkative.
All right, back. So
yeah,
sorry.
No, you're fine. Like I said, I know the routine, and I know the little like, hey, like, no, I'm especially if I'm on a call or something, and the little one comes by, like, is that Nora? Like, no, I'm trying to tell you to go away without saying go away. But,
yeah. For the people on the internet,
no,
I just
that's
don't
what I
want
love
them
about
on
this being
camera.
live.
So.
It's real. Yep. So no, I completely respect it. But yeah, so the it doesn't have to be Polymaker, but your favorite color or surface effect of filament.
Yeah, it's by far Polymaker. I'm not.
All right.
I would have
I'll
said
take
this
that.
before. You guys helped me out with that. The Polymaker Fossil matte is like my favorite.
Oh, the fossil gray.
one. Yeah, the fossil gray. It's just my favorite. The amount that you guys helped me with the auto turret, it was like the whole order was fossil gray. So
But it all
that's
works in
definitely
the
my
end.
favorite. Not for any specific reason. It could be another color, but that tone, that lighting tone, it allows me to see just the variation, the texture of whatever I'm printing a little bit easier than like a pure white or a pure black, stuff like that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be fossil gray, but something in that like spectrum of
that range.
Yeah, that color range or light range, however you would say that. But I'm just a sucker for it, and it perfectly matches my primer filler as well. So I spray everything with primer
easy.
filler to smooth it. Yeah, so that's my favorite.
There you go. Okay, and then the second question I always ask is, what is the one print you're most proud of? You have a lot of cool ones, so I'm sure it's probably hard to pick with.
Yeah, most proud of definitely the auto turret. Like it's the newest, but it's also like it just has so many different layers, like we were talking about, that I think that one just takes the cake by far. Yeah, that nothing really comes close to it. Some of the other things that I really like aren't fully 3D printed, but I also love the furnace. It doesn't serve much function other than just a cool factor, but
there you go.
The rocks were the only 3D part of that.
Now, of course, the other thing, you played Rust for a long time. You help run a server. Everything else is, and we'll try to keep it as PG as possible. You've seen probably 1.5 million usernames come across. People can get really creative in these types of games. Can you recall any like your favorite like screen name you've seen somebody use before? Like that's pretty funny or awesome or whatever. Again, as PG as possible.
PG as possible. Usually the ones that come to mind in the moment, I can't think of any, and I don't know if I even want to say them, but usually they're related to something in current events. They're usually related to something in current events. Those are the ones that usually stand out to me. I can't think of a name right now though that I definitely
I'm sure you see many of them. So
yeah.
So now, of course, again, playing Rust all the time is, other than Rust, what is your top go-to game? Not before, but like actively. Like, do you play anything else other than Rust now? And if so, like, what's your go-to?
Yeah, my go-to now has definitely been CS:GO. I'm not like a professional, very casual player, but when I have a group of friends, I think that's just a super fun game to play with. You can get as casual or as sweaty as you want, and it's a fun game.
Awesome. And last question I have is, if anybody's looking to watch somebody create really cool life-size props, whether it be Rust or possibly in the future other video games and other cool projects overall, where could they go to find said person?
Yeah, so said person, I happen to know one on like YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that, but I go by SometimesLone. There are many other creators as well that make life-size stuff from video games. I don't know of any that make it in Rust, so maybe that's kind of like a favorable position for me.
Yeah.
But I encourage everybody to, to make something, whether it's 3D printing, woodworking, whatever it is. But the socials that I go by is sometimes Lone, and I like to share the experience with the world, and see what
Yep.
their feedback
And
is.
it's inspiring. Like we talked earlier, is just the turret itself. Obviously, there's many layers to it, but even just the learning things is using AI as a tool to help you along the way. That's a lot of effort, but it's showing that it can be done as we talked from a blank slate. You don't have to have some engineering background or a degree. So you just got to have a little bit of motivation and read.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or if you
I
can't
didn't
read,
go to
just have AI
school.
read it to you. So.
I didn't go to college. I'm a college dropout, for lack of better words. So it's definitely a good time to live in the world where you have access to in-home manufacturing. Essentially, you can
Yep.
A/B test products you're interested in making in real world situations, or make gifts for your family at a lower cost. Like it just makes sense.
Yep,
Uh,
much fun to be had. But no, I look forward to the many more projects. Like I said, I know a guy. If you need any more of that plastic to create said awesome projects, so appreciate you coming on the show. I'm sure I'll catch you around the Discord soon. So I'll let you go and have a good night.
awesome. Thank you so much, Joel, and for all the viewers as well. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, man. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
And another one in the books that was Brent, also sometimes Lone or Lone if you're on the Discord. You see him in the Hangout and you have a question about Rust. He knows his stuff. Got a question about creating Rust things through 3D printing and other various modes or methods. He also is a good guy to probably ask. So thank you to him for coming on the show. That is a really cool backdrop. I got some RGB lights and all that stuff in my backdrop when there's not a green screen. But cool backdrop that he's got, and then just adding to it. I can't wait to see again more of the world, the little mini world that he's creating inside of his base. So with that said, let's talk about some projects. And real quick, I'll mention giveaway. It's open for everybody. YouTube, Twitch, everybody's open. Get it in there. I did it right this time. So get your I Am Awesome in chat. And during so, we're going to talk about some projects like Polymaker figurines, finishing up V2. I don't even know where he's at now. I haven't caught the last couple of videos, but very low, if not to like the last. So that is led by Antoine Dimensions, and he produces a video that showcases the model and then makes that model available for free to download on Maker World. All of the, all in the same go. So if you like Pokemon, check him out. If you like other things, he doesn't do just Pokemon. He's done some Dragon Ball Z, some kind of miscellaneous stuff in between. I wouldn't know by any chance if he's got anything else in the works. I think you guys will love, but we'll see. We'll wait and see. But go follow him now, because you might miss out on the new project that may be starting eventually. So that is exclamation point PMF. Okay, somebody already did it. Okay, I was checking the chat. There's a lot of awesomes in there. A lot of awesome people. But next up we have Polymaker Education, led by Creatrix Brit. That is exclamation point PME. And that'll give you all the links to there, and does the same format. She releases a video. The model she showcases in the video for educational use is then presented on printables and Maker World for download for free under the Polymaker_education or Polymaker Space Education, I believe, account. So again, you can download those and share them with friends, family, co-workers, neighborhood children, whoever might enjoy it. Share away. We also have Polymaker Labs, which is ran by Polymaker Sean, where he's dressed up, or maybe he just really is the Polymaker scientist, giving you tips, tricks, and troubleshooting on all your daily 3D printing needs. So follow him. Always fun little short videos to get some more information from. Things you might know, things you might not, but always good to share to those that are new to the 3D printing world. And last but not least, we have exclamation point IPC, and that is In Printing Color show ran by Pezliz over on twitch.tv/Pezliz, where she talks about the latest and greatest in colors, or colors that we've had around, or materials we've had around, and ways that you can use them in different prints, and kind of like best case uses, application uses, etc. So go follow her, and that show is every Wednesday. And she told me the time last week, and I forget what it was. She'll tell you in chat. But those are the projects that are currently ongoing. We're always looking to build some more projects. There's always things in the works, so you never know what's going to come next. But right now what's coming next is a giveaway. So I would get that I am awesome in there if you have not done so yet, because if you didn't do it yet, you're gonna miss out. And hey, that's your fault. That's not mine, because I warned you. I told you, type it in. Let us know that you're awesome. Because if I don't know that you're awesome, I can assume you're awesome, but I can't just assume to give you a chance to win some filament. You got to do a little bit of work on your part. And other than that, we'll go ahead and real quick and talk about the projects. While everybody gets the last chance to type in I am awesome, I'm going to pull up this, and this. Oh, wow. Is that? Oh, it's because my mouse pad's wet. My mouse doesn't move too well. Okay, let's do this. We get those in there. We do have our team that streams throughout the week on this same channel. And we start off the week on Monday with Greg in his content corner, where he just talks about kind of his 3D printing journey along with the content that he's working on, or a little bit behind the scenes of the stuff he can talk about. He can't always talk about actively the projects he's on, but you got questions for him about the content, how it's done. He's there to answer those questions and get feedback. You know, the good, bad, the ugly. We always take all feedback. Let us know. And then on Tuesday, of course, I come here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard to do the community chat, and that can go off the rails. That can be so random, but typically, I mean, it's chatting. It's chatting with the community. We might talk events, upcoming events. We might do some planning, some brainstorming. Might show off some stuff if there's some cool prints that I've been in the works. Because believe it or not, I'm not just a face on the screen. I actually 3D print stuff. I really do. I don't know if you believe that or not, but I've done a benchy once or twice. But then follow that up on Wednesday. We have Tiffany with Tiffany's Amateur Maker Hour. And again, going through her journey, learning 3D printing as she goes. She can take questions and kind of insight of what she's working on. But helping you, and along with you helping her along that way, and just a fun stream. Maybe some other stuff that we're gonna have her do. But we've brought up some ideas, so we'll see. But then we have the next day is Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you didn't catch it, you already missed it. Sean does live feedback hour with Sean to go over live feedback for the customer experience. Whether, again, you got the good, bad, the ugly, you don't like something, you like something, you want something, that's the where you have your voice heard. I can't say he can grant everyone's wishes, but he really does record that feedback. He does look into it. If it's something, whether it's that it's in his control and he can make changes to, or he has to go contact other teams. I see him in all the team chats of asking questions and everything. I promise you, when you give feedback, he listens. Polymaker listens. If it makes sense, you guys have seen it. The community has made a lot of changes. I don't want to say changes, but they'll helped us along the way to become what we are. So thank you to everybody there. And then, of course, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday also, you have me. I do the Meet the Polymaker. We meet a new maker every single week, every single episode. We give away some filament. We talk about some 3D printing or maker news, and we share some prints. So that is right now the schedule, Monday through Thursday. That's your TV guide of when to watch who. There's all sorts of other people to watch too. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of 3D printing now coming up on the socials, whether it be YouTube, Twitch, etc. So go find somebody you like and watch them. Go show that support. We might have a Friday thing coming eventually. We'll see. But oh yeah, I went to go type in something here on my keyboard that doesn't look. Give me just a moment here, because I want to be able to type something and I don't want it to short out. I hope you guys can see that, the water droplets, so you don't think I'm just crazy. Okay, let's see if she works. Nope, I got to get the mouse over here. Hey, so far so good. Definitely still need to try it though. Oh shoot. This is why we do this live, because you guys get to be entertained just for the heck of it. Let's see here. Come on. Oh, and I have to switch this over. We are going to do a giveaway, which here, let me switch that just so you know that we really are going to do a giveaway. As soon as I type on my waterlogged keyboard. gonna short out and cause the stream to end before I do the giveaway, right before the winner's announced. I think. Did I enter it? Okay, so yeah, set up the raid. After we do this giveaway, make sure to go show some love and support to Cyber Jules, who's working on the Jace hammer. She does some cosplay, and we're talking the tiers, you know, adding some extra stuff. There's wires and wire strippers, and not just 3D printed parts in this. So this is one of those tier 3 level cosplay pieces. So, excuse me. Make sure to go show her some love after we do this drawing, which we will do in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Congratulations to whoever wins. Contact me at !contact in chat. You can email me or message me over on Discord, discord.polymaker.com. If you are not already in there, you should be. Message me there. Jupiter Robotics, you know how to get a hold of me. Congratulations on the spool of filament. I bet you they might put that into a robot. Just an assumption. Or maybe they like benchies and they're going to print a lot of benchies. But either way, you want a spool of filament. We thank you for your support all the time, anytime, every day. I'll see you back here on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or in the Discord if you come to the hangout. You're welcome. Anybody's welcome. You don't even have to talk or turn your camera on. So come join us. That is all. Go show some love to Cyber Jules, and we'll catch you guys later.